Talk of hope and change keeps coming out of Washington, but Americans are feeling anything but. Just a mere 20% of Americans describe the economy as good. That's down 10 points since February. So how does this fare for Obama in November? Well, the majority of Americans say Obama isn't cutting it when it comes to our down economy, with a 52% disapproval rating. Time to bring our panel out. Larry Winget is a best-selling author in Phoenix. Hadley Heath is a senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum in D.C., and Remy Spencer is an attorney. Larry, let's start with you. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, my real job is traveling around the country talking to folks and businesses about what it takes to be successful, and what I'm finding out is that people are hopeful, but they're certainly not optimistic. I don't find them pessimistic, though. I just think that they believe in themselves, but they don't trust the government. And they would sure appreciate it if the Obama administration would get the government out of the way, stop looking at themselves as a solution, and let businesses put people back to work.
Hopeful but not optimistic. Remy, what do you say?
I think that that's a good way to phrase it. Hopeful but not optimistic. I think this is going to be the #1 issue in the campaign this year, and I think if Mitt Romney is smart, he's going to be telling us more about the specific reasons why he claims he's so much stronger on the economy than President Obama is. And it's not going to be about gay marriage. It's not going to be about other social issues. I think the economy is what we want to hear about and what it should be about.
Hadley, what do you say?
Right, these poll numbers today on the heels of some remarks from President Obama yesterday that he sometimes forgets the impact of the recession on everyday Americans. I mean, that's another reason for pessimism, is to know that we have a president who's so out of touch.
Well, how about this? Over 200,000 Americans losing their unemployment benefits this weekend as the nation's jobless rate comes back down. Now, this new round of reductions hitting 8 states just this month, totaling 27 in all. Hadley, what do you say about this?
Well, it's unfortunate because the federal formula to determine the duration of these jobless benefits, one of the input variables is whether or not the unemployment rate is increasing or decreasing. And the recent trend has been that unemployment has gone down a little bit according to that federal statistic. But unfortunately, that statistic doesn't cover how many people have given up looking for work.
Yeah, and we question that stat every single day. Remy, what do you say?
Even if that stat's not 100% accurate, which I think we can all agree is probably the case, 99 weeks on unemployment to me, and I think to a lot of people, is excessive. That's nearly 2 years, when the statistics show that the average person will find a job in 39 weeks. We're not taking it from 99 weeks to nothing. It's going from 99 weeks to 70-some weeks, 77 weeks, I believe. So people are still going to have nearly twice as much time to find a job while on unemployment as the average person needs to find a job. So I don't think this is a terribly bad thing.
Larry, do you agree?
Oh, I think it's a great thing. Let's cut it back to 9 weeks. I mean, goodness gracious, if you cut it back to 9 weeks, I think we would be amazed at how many people could find work and how many jobs were really out there. You know, starvation and eviction are a much better motivator to find work than a government check.
There you go. All right. How about this story blew me away today? JetBlue officials ordered an 18-month-old toddler from a plane just moments before takeoff, saying her name was on the TSA's no-fly list. Little baby. After apologizing for their obvious mistake, JetBlue said they could get back on the family, but the parents refused, saying they were targeted because of their Middle Eastern descent. Remy.
This story just shows how many times the TSA get it wrong. I feel very badly for this family. I'm of Middle Eastern descent. If I somehow got on the TSA list, I wouldn't think it was targeting me because my parents are from the Middle East. I think it's just poor organization and just a lack of competency. I mean, for a toddler to get on the list is just a sheer example of that.
Hadley.
Absolutely. We have to be vigilant, but this is an 18-month-old baby. She's adorable. And given the facts that her parents are Middle Eastern, her mother was wearing a head covering that day, this certainly looks bad for the TSA. It looks like there was some profiling going on. But at the end of the day, all they can do is apologize and move on and continue to be vigilant in the future.
Larry, what do you say? And is JetBlue really at fault here?
Well, I think JetBlue, if it weren't for bad luck, JetBlue would have no luck at all. Seems like they're in the news every single week for doing something, and it's never for giving great customer service, that's for sure. JetBlue has a responsibility in this just as much as the TSA did, and I think oops isn't sufficient.
Well, yeah, it's a crazy story, that's for sure. Well, despite a down economy, Americans are expected to spend over $18 billion on Mother's Day this year, up 8% from 2011. Hadley, did you buy your mom a gift yet?
I did. I bought my mother a gift. I saw her last weekend and gave it to her. Part of this increase, an 8% increase over last year's spending on Mother's Day, is because so many Americans are now buying gifts, not just for mom, but for their grandmothers, for their aunts, for those other important women in their family and in their lives. And I think that's great news. We've got to recognize those mentors and those people who've given so much. $18.6 billion. They're so worth it. Moms are so worth it.
Remy.
Absolutely, our moms are worth it. I'm having my mom, the whole family over, and I'm buying them presents. I think what we're seeing with these numbers, however, is what we were talking about earlier, a slow uptick in the economy. We'd like to see it faster. We'd like to see it greater, but it's happening, and we've got to be patient.
Well, Larry, what do you say? Are you all fired up about Mother's Day, or are you going to have a quiet one?
You know, I love Mother's Day, and my mama's 92 years old, lives in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and I honor her for being the person I am today. And I think if there's any group of people who ought to be honored, it's everybody's mamas.
I love that. Okay, all right, guys. Larry, Hadley, and Remy, thanks for helping us out tonight. Great job. Lots of tough questions. Appreciate your time.